Hello, 8th grade science. This is our second instructional video for Unit 6, Week 4. And this is following the second and last activity called Ocean Circulation in the North Atlantic. And really what we're looking at here, it's very similar to the air masses and ocean current scavenger hunt. It's just kind of like we're kind of focusing on that idea again, similarly, as to why does the Earth in this unequal heating create these currents that then can cause or change some of the weather patterns that we see. So as I just kind of mentioned, right, we're learning how the sun impacts that ocean circulation and creates those currents to distribute that energy because the Earth is heated unequally, but it all wants to be heated or be the same temperature, thus equal. And so it's mixing constantly to try and do that. For your success criteria, I can describe how the sun's energy creates those wind and ocean currents. So both air and water is what's mixing or what's trying to mix. And then explain what forces drive that ocean circulation, i.e. the sun. When you look at our lesson plan portion for today, there is bell work linked. Now this video you can watch. You just have to watch it on YouTube. It's from an older TV show, so they want to protect the rights to it. But it's built on explaining atmospheric pressure. So that's kind of what we were looking at in the notes earlier and the assignment last week. And so this is kind of him showing an example of that. And then the activity that we're going to do, the Explore, is also tied with that. So that's what I want to go through next. So when you open up this Pear Deck, you guys will be able to move through it at your own pace or whatever. But what we're looking at is some different weather systems and then kind of thinking about how that relates to the pressure that we're seeing. So come on. Oh my goodness, so slow. So it's going to take you to, this is the Weather Underground Wonder Map. And it's kind of neat. I'll kind of show you what it looks like if it doesn't work. But what you can do in it, which is kind of cool, is you can kind of see air pressure systems and fronts and things like that. I want maps and radar. I'm going to pause this and get it loaded up because I think it's just going to be really slow. All right, so this is the Wonder Map right now. And if you can't get it to work on the Edpuzzle, because sometimes it's wonky, then just watch this. It's not a big deal. What I want to turn on is I like to turn on the satellite so I can see any storms. I want the fronts for sure. Maybe I want radar. Maybe not satellite. I'll turn on radar, not satellite. Some of these, if you turn on too much, it gets really slow too. So kind of watch that. But these I think I really want. I mean, you have to really make sure you have fronts on. And I think what our instructions were is that we're trying to find a low pressure system, talk about where we found it and the weather, a high pressure system, and the weather. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go back to the Weather Underground website. I'm going to zoom out quite a bit. So you're going to be seeing these front lines, and we're going to learn more about what these actually mean. I think next week is the specific day we're talking about fronts. So right now I would focus mainly on the letters, right? So when we look at, say, these low pressure areas, you could pick any of these, and obviously yours will look different if you're looking at this live because this is changing day to day. But you'll notice a lot of times when I'm looking at the L's, you're going to see this green stuff. These are storms. This is what the radar is picking up, the weather around it, because low pressure, that hot air, is usually what causes storms. It's kind of what we saw in our notes and kind of what we're observing here right now. And so you can kind of see that. When I look at high pressure, there's not a lot around high pressure, right? If we're in Iowa today on July 26th, it's really hot today. High pressure is colder air. It doesn't mean it's going to be cold though, right? It's 92. That can be high pressure. But if you see, there's really not a lot of clouds or weather going on in our little neck of the woods. Similarly here with this high pressure, it's pretty clear all around there. This one's a little different, but that's because there's low pressure right next door. And so while you're like, wow, why is it like that? That's because there's low pressure nearby. But most of these high pressure areas, you can see it's pretty clear, and that's kind of the weather we associate with that. So that's really kind of the goal of this Explorer, is to look at how do the pressure systems that we've been looking at, how does that relate to the weather that they generate, and kind of having you figure that out on your own, though we've taken notes on it. So it's not really having you figure it out too much on your own. Okay, I'm going to go through the directions for this assignment here, so make sure you check in for that. There is a CFA this week, and there's kind of your checklist for this week. Have a good day.